How do we start this thing? Oh yeah, I talk about a beer. Our beer of the week is from Sly Fox Brewing Company, the Volpulin IPA. It's a tropical IPA. It's really tasty. Got it in a variety pack, beautiful can, and had one or two of these already, and it's a good brew. And let's get a good crack. That was a nice crack.
By the way, that's not how you pronounce that.
How do I pronounce it?
I actually have no idea. You might have pronounced it right.
I know it'll be backwards because of the camera, but it actually has a pronunciation thing on the side. Volpulin.
And you know what? Let me. We got a nice cap here. Some cap action. Got some sweet tea in here. All right. And it originally wasn't sweet tea. It was apple cider from a what's it called? The farmer's market. From a farmer's market.
You know the market where they've got farms, bro?
And first of all, I got it because I really like the look of this thing. It looks really cool. And then, so I got it and the apple cider was delicious. And I'm like, well, I still got to use it somehow, right? So of course, being the Southern man that I am, I throw some sweet tea in it, or as Southerners would call it, tea.
Sometimes I wonder, people who only have the audio version of this that they listen to, I wonder if they ever think, like, is he actually like a weird Southern?
Well, I'm not weird, but I am Southern.
I mean, it's just like, you have this bad Southern vibe that you give off sometimes. Like,
yeah, buddy.
That accent and the Lacey Evans love. Like, there are sometimes I feel like people who only listen to this and have never actually seen you are like, do I have to worry about this Demetri fella?
Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to witness the world's #1 wrestling podcast. Let me pod to you. Yeah.
Welcome to Let Me Pod to You. I'm Jacob. You can block me on Twitter at WeHateJacob. I'm here with my co-host Demetri. You can find him on Twitter at Demetri Talks. Demetri, how's the wrestling?
The wrestling's been very good. I tuned into AEW this past weekend. That was pretty good. Liked what I saw. I'm sure you'll talk about it, but I really liked the stage. It was beautiful. Mm-hmm. Everything looked crispy, man. Mm-hmm. I just liked the whole vibe.
Red ropes.
Yeah. Oh, the red ropes. Give me colored ropes more often in wrestling shows, please. It looks good. But
you love it.
Yeah, it's been good. How about you? How you feeling about the wrestling?
There's so much of it, but it's all been good. Mm-hmm. Like, I watched so much wrestling this week. It's crazy how much wrestling I've watched. Our format here, top of the mid, headlines, Bloodline Cinematic Universe, stocks rising, stocks falling. These can be specific wrestler storylines, whatever, to kick off a conversation. Demetri, any change at the top of the mid?
No change here. We are back again with the Alpha Academy.
Thank you!
Yes, sir. Man, they just keep putting on every week. And you know who used to have this title? Dom used to have this title, but like, I feel like it's a given. Dom has like elevated himself a little bit out of the top of the mid status just because he's like so good at being hated every week.
He's wrestling Cody Rhodes at Money in the Bank.
It's facts.
That's going to be one of the 6 main events on this card.
That's out of top of the mid status. So we got to go somewhere else. And the Alpha Academy, I mean, they took it and they're running with it. So every week it feels like it's them. And this leads me into, something I've seen, a rumor of a guy. We've seen these for a couple weeks now and we haven't actually gotten any confirmation. I've just seen it kind of floating around on Twitter, on the internet and whatever. But, I've seen rumors that Carlito may be returning.
I have seen these as well.
I would love that. You know, I love my boy Carlito. He's top of the mid material. He obviously spits in the face of people who don't want to be cool. Which in my mind, immediately the first person I think of that he should spit in the face of is, is Austin Theory.
Yeah, true that.
That's a feud with Austin Theory where he spits in his face and takes the U.S. championship. Be a beautiful thing. So I'm hoping the rumors are true. I saw a really funny video over the weekend of Carlito at a little like house show. And he was up there and he was just playing with everybody. And he was like, all right, I got to say it. The rumors are true. And then everybody's like, oh. And then he said something like completely unrelated to WWE. I don't remember what it was.
That's
but
hilarious.
Yeah, he got everybody. It was really good.
Yeah, the only thing is, the first feud he'd have on his way back, the first feud that everybody has on their way back, The Miz.
Dude, you didn't even have to say the name and I knew who it was.
They have a segment with The Miz because Seth Rollins got the shit kicked out of him on Raw. He's like, oh, someone's coming back. Oh, it's Tommaso Ciampa. Okay. With some little DIY hints in his little backstage segment as well. So I think that would be good. We know Triple H loves his adopted son, Johnny Gargano. So
yep.
See what happens there. But my headline, Collision was good.
Yes.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Hey.
I took some detailed notes.
Ooh, I like this. Okay.
Because I really wanted to make sure that I could have some coherent thoughts. So
Okay.
let's just go through Collision real quick, Demetri. Please jump in because I know you said, did you watch all of it or just a bit?
I watched most of it. I tuned in and out of it. So there may be some things I did and did not see, but I saw the majority of it, I would say. Probably like 90%.
Fair enough. I think that's great. Love you being on AEW. I'm glad I could do that for you. So let's start. CM Punk is back. You can cut that if it sounds terrible. CM Punk's promo was fucking awesome.
He's so good.
It was so good. And there's little things that he's doing too. He gets out there. He's got his bag that definitely has the AEW World Title in it. He's wearing boots around his neck. And then he gets the mic, and the first thing he does, he takes the mic and he wiggles the sleeve off. MJF has to be sick that he didn't think of doing that first. He has to be so upset that he didn't think about taking the AEW logo off the mic when he was shooting at AEW. And so just these little things, like, even if the man looks a little rusty and he's getting old and those grays are showing, he set that place on fire with the mic.
He's so good. And I just want to quickly add, you said about the mic thing. Fun fact, he did that back in the WWE too.
Oh, he did.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. So it's like a little callback to that as well. Whenever he was beefing with the WWE, he did like literally almost exactly the same way. Like just kind of weaseled it off, and it's like, yeah, started his promo.
And another little touch with that, he did it again on Dynamite last night.
Oh shit! Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm.
He had a save segment at the beginning, basically. The Hardys got jumped by Bullet Club Gold after their match, and CM Punk and FTR and Ricky Starks all came out to set up a match on Collision on Saturday. And he got the mic and he wiggled the thing off, and he kind of WWE'd it a little bit, like brand splitty. He was like, I'm a Collision guy. I'm not even supposed to be here.
I saw that on Twitter.
How? It's in Chicago. We know you're going to be here. Anyway, back to his promo. Some shots at the Bucks and the Elite, things you'd expect. I guess the Bucks, from rumors that I've read since then, they weren't too upset about it. There were some people who just took things a little personally, but I mean, it's just like he said in the promo. He's like, if you don't like me, you're softer than your favorite wrestler. And you know what? If you're getting offended by what Punk said, because I didn't think it was too incendiary. I thought it was all pretty, what you'd kind of expect on a return promo from a guy who was almost kicked out of the company for whatever. Mm-hmm. I didn't think it was too hot. What about you?
No, I don't think it's too hot. I just want to say, I think Punk is like one of the best at like tiptoeing the line between like real life and like kayfabe stuff, mm-hmm. where mm-hmm. like he gives a promo and you're sitting there thinking, you're like, damn, like this is kind of like what is real and what is not. Like he is great at tiptoeing that line where it makes you really feel his words, and you kind of like hang on to him, and everything like hits, like has impact. Like it's not just like the guy we always make fun of, Austin Theory promo, where he's just out there talking shit and nothing means anything. And everybody's like, I don't believe this. Why is this happening? When Punk talks, you listen. And when he says shit, it often, has an impact.
I was captivated through the entire thing.
He's great.
And he talked about the bag. He held it up and he's like, what's in this bag in my mind is still mine until somebody pins me or submits me. That belt's definitely in that bag. And I think once we kind of get through this forbidden door, and there's some other stuff that's going to occupy some MJF time on Dynamite for the next few weeks, as Adam Cole thing's not done yet. I think as we start getting through July into August, and we need to build a main event for All In at Wembley, MJF and CM Punk are running it back for the undisputed AEW World Heavyweight title.
Undisputed.
It's coming home, baby. But yeah, I thought it was really good. Everything he said, and his phrasing on it too. Tell me when I'm telling lies. It was a perfect phrase to keep coming back to kind of reset the promo over and over for your next steps. And I don't think he was telling lies. It's definitely his side of the story, but he's not telling lies.
Yeah, he's not up there capping, you know what I'm saying? He's up there telling you how he feels, telling you straight up. And that's why he's great.
Yep, I really liked it. We'll come back to CM Punk. TNT title. I don't know what to do with Wardlow at this point. He has held the TNT title 2 or 3 times. All of these title reigns have been severely underwhelming. They brought him Arn Anderson to try to zhuzh it up a little bit, make him more interesting. Didn't really work. He beat Christian in the ladder match at Revolution, I think. Whatever one they just had. Who cares? And again, I just didn't care about the TNT title. I don't care about it. I don't care about it at all. And I think that's going to change because Christian's boy, Luchasaurus, won the title. Christian grabbed that shit and got on Luchasaurus' shoulders like he won that belt himself. And that's just going to be some really fun, slimy heel stuff. 100% on Collision on Saturday. Christian Cage is going to come out with that title on his shoulder like he won it. And he's going to keep cheating to keep Luchasaurus winning it. And he's going to act like it's his the whole time. Because Luchasaurus doesn't talk. He's a dinosaur. He doesn't know words.
Can't express himself, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what to do with Wardlow from here. I genuinely have no idea. His story, he has no character. His character is just big, strong wrestle dude that power bombs people. That's his whole character.
Sounds like Braun Strowman.
Yeah, and I think he's at this point where he's at the Braun crossroads. And he could go one direction and become a Strowman Express, and no one wants that. That is severely underwhelming for a guy of his talent, and he's got talent. Or he could go the other way, and he could go the Braun Breaker route. If you put those dudes next to each other, you wouldn't really be able to tell the difference, besides Braun Breaker's fucking goatee. They've got the same physique. They can do the same things. They can both jump on the ropes when they want to. They've got a lot of similar skills, but Wardlow's just not making the most of his. If I'm Wardlow, I'm watching all of NXT's Braun Breaker title reign and figure out how to make that happen and make that work.
He's got to work on his promo skills, because that's the one thing that Braun has as a strength of his for sure, is he can get on the mic and he's intense. So his promo work always is believable, and it's not shitty by any means. I would say Braun, definitely a strength of his is promo work. And I haven't seen a ton of Wardlow, but I wouldn't say his strength is promo work.
No, it's very much just I'm going to come and kick your ass. And that's basically it. Which maybe that's one of the reasons they gave him on Arn Anderson, to see if that could spice up the promo stuff a little bit. But Arn, you're so old. It's old man promo that just doesn't work for me. I know Arn Anderson's a compelling person for a lot of people, not necessarily for me.
I love the Glock promo. That's the one that always comes to my head.
Yeah. And that's funny, but at the end of the day, you want to make Wardlow a believable character, and Arn Anderson's here just, Christian, I've fought so many people in my life, and I'll fight you too. It's not working. Not working. Yep. So Wardlow, let's figure out something else. Let's loop back to set design. Stage looks great. Looked a little different from Dynamite, and I think that's more backlighting than anything, because it seeing Dynamite again, it looks like they have the same kind of screen setup, but it's a little bit of a different lighting structure that they're doing on the stage and the ramp, and I really liked how it looked.
Yeah, it looked great.
Red ropes looking good.
Absolutely.
Desk being by the ring, that's different. On Dynamite, they have the desk up by the stage. So that was a nice note. As soon as I saw it down there, I was like, someone's going through it.
I prefer ringside desks for sure.
Yeah. I think a lot of the non-ringside desk for Dynamite was kind of with JR being attached to it and Tony Schiavone. They can't move super quick.
Oh, that's a good point.
I think that might be part of the reason why it's been up there, and now it's just kind of where it is. The commentary was okay. It will take some time to get used to. The sound mixing was awful, though. It was hard to hear. Like, it was almost like on old iPhones where, like, if you're listening to a podcast, you'd have to go into your sound output settings and change it to spoken word to just make the words crispy. Because, like, it was hard to hear some of it. They've got nothing on Excalibur. That Kevin Kelly fella was distractingly bad throughout. Like, he came from New Japan and he nailed all of the Japanese names, like all of the New Japan wrestlers, fucking nailed it. He cannot do any kind of Spanish name at all. The entire Buddy Matthews and Andrade El Idolo match, he was calling him Andrade. And he was calling him like Andrade Idolo.
Sounds Italian.
Like, Andrade El Idolo. Like, no, he's Mexican. Like, come on, step it up. Like, he was very bad. I like the British dude though. He gave me very big like Jason Statham vibes. Which, yeah, I thought he was good. Do you have any thoughts on commentary?
Nah, not as much as you. I was listening, when I was watching AEW, I was watching it outside on my outdoor TV.
Yeah.
So I really wasn't.
We get it, Demetri. You rich.
I'm rich now, baby. You already know.
He got outside TV.
I got outside TV. I'm flexing. No big deal.
The Buddy Matthews versus Andrade match was really funny. The guy who was holding up the sign, so funny. Rhea and Buddy need to cool it though. Like, everyone knows you guys are together. It's jokes. Like, seriously, it's jokes.
Buddy on the internet, like, I swear to God, we're together.
It's not Tom. It's not him.
Oh, man.
And then Rhea being like, just proves that you're watching the product, but you can't spell mommy right. Like, Rhea, cool it. Just cool it. It's funny. People like it. It's a funny bit. Like, oh God, anyone older than 12 knows what's actually happening. So calm down. They made both those guys look really strong. Andrade is great. I didn't realize how much I missed him until he was back. Like, that man can fucking go. Yeah, more Andrade. I honestly don't care if he punches Sammy Guevara again. He can punch Sammy Guevara as much as he wants. And the finish, he used Charlotte's figure eight for the submission. And
they both used. Didn't they both use their ladies' moves? Yeah. It was interesting. That was cool.
You know what? I like it for Andrade more. I love me a big wife guy. As you know, you and I are big wife guys. So,
wife guys.
Woo! Scorpio Sky, better known as Scorpion Sky, if you follow Danhausen's Twitter, is back. Did not know he's 40.
You're welcome.
Why?
Why do I? Because I told you that, man. I told you he was 40. You're welcome for that knowledge.
Oh, was it you?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. I thought it was Ian.
We were in the party and I was like,
I thought 40. It was Ian. He looks fucking good for 40. Like,
yes.
Yeah. be on the lookout for probably some t-shirts once he's back from Wrestling Wind Down, Bad Bitches for Scorpio Sky. Tony Nese, boo. Miro, yay!
Hey, yo.
Miro's back, and I love when they want to make somebody look strong by having them no-sell chops. That's like one of my favorite things in wrestling. Miro won, duh. And I don't know. If Collision's going to be the meaty men slapping meat show, I'm fine with that booking.
Sign me up, buddy.
Wardlow, Luchasaurus, Miro, Buddy Matthews, Andrade. So many meats, so many men, slapping each other. Chef's kiss. Willow Nightingale, Sky Blue versus the Outcast. Willow's music, absolute bop. I like hear that in my head all the time. And I should say, the New Japan Women's Strong Champion, Willow Nightingale. Again, if you don't like Willow, fuck you, get out of our podcast. I really enjoyed the matching gear for Willow and Sky for a one-off. You know, they're both wearing like Cubs blue. They're in Chicago. Sky's from Chicago. Yeah, Sky Blue. Wow. So much fun. She gets a win in her hometown. Demetri, did you see the finisher? The little back flip over half powerbomb thing that she does?
Yes. Very cool. Very cool finisher. A+. Good creativity there.
Everybody loves the Acclaimed, including us. Demetri, should we do a virtual scissor on this podcast real quick?
Yeah, sure. Let's run it.
Daddy Ass looks like he's having so much fun.
Oh my God.
Tony Schiavone got in on the scissoring action, so that was great too. I love it. I'm gonna be getting a Scissor Me shirt soon. And then the main event. 30-minute main event. Oh, baby.
Oh, boy.
First of all, I want to get the Jim Ross of it all out of the way. I am very glad that man has taken some time off. He is old. Let that man go home, Tony Khan. Like, whatever contract you have with him, just let him go home. I know he wants to be there. He wants to be involved, but like, he said on Twitter, you know, I know I sounded bad. That's on me. I apologize. Had a fall that same day. Like, JR, we love you. You are the GOAT of wrestling commentary. We don't need you to do this anymore. Like, I want good JR memories. I don't want this to be my lasting JR memory.
Yeah, if anything, I don't know what kind of role he has, but like, does he like typically do the whole show, or is he just like there for like a few matches? What's his work like? So
lately, what they've been doing with JR is he is on Rampage, and that's because Rampage is pre-recorded, and JR has been prone to a few slips of the WWE wrestler name.
Oh yeah.
That way they can edit that out a little bit better than when he's live on Dynamite. Usually for the pay-per-views, he'll be there for a few matches, and they'll give him like a whole entrance where it's like the Oklahoma fight song that he comes out to. And then I think he was actually supposed to be on the whole show for Collision as a special guest, just to kind of introduce it with JR.
Yeah.
And it ended up being that he was just there for the main event due to, you know, those other circumstances. But just let him go home.
Yeah, out of love for JR, I mean, if he still wants to do it, fine. This is where I'm at. But definitely give that man a reduced role. Like, maybe like a match where he can like study, where he can like get in his zone. He can like have less opportunity to mess up, but still be there. You know what I mean? But like you said, he's old, and the whole show or like multiple matches or like a whole pay-per-view, I think just at this point in his career, that's not something that he should be doing. I
completely agree. And they definitely have gotten that message, and they have reduced his role from, you know, when I started watching Dynamite and it was like JR Central. And I was like, oh boy. I just, the big thing that sticks out for me is when Claudio came to AEW and he kept calling him Cesaro. Understandably. Like, he called him Cesaro for like, 8 years or something?
Yeah.
Like, I get it, but like, he'd be like, oh, Cesaro's doing his giant swing. And then Excalibur go, Claudio Castagnoli is doing the giant swing. You know, and So anyway, main event, long. It was good. I really wanted CM Punk to come out wearing his AEW World Title belt, but I guess that was probably not allowed. They limited Punk's minutes, understandably, ease him back in. FTR as Punk's bodyguards, I think is a good little storyline thing too. If they do that kind of longer term, they move FTR kind of over to Collision, and they're kind of there like, you want Punk, you got to go through us. Which could also give them something to do without the tag titles if they decide to go that direction. But yeah, Collision, really good, really fun. Liked it a lot. CM Punk is back. Good stuff.
Beautiful. Now we got to move on to the brand new segment, yeah?
Bloodline Cinematic Universe, take it away. I talk too much.
Yes. Oh, the Bloodline Cinematic Universe. This is what everybody's waiting for. You know what? I got a funny story about this Friday. When SmackDown started, I was busy doing something, right? But I knew in my mind, something was going on with the Bloodline because, I remember all the hints and, Roman's coming back, and I was like, shit, I gotta watch that. So what did I do? I literally did not start SmackDown until it was late, and I fast forwarded through the entire episode. Well, anytime I saw any member of the Bloodline, I'd stop it and I'd watch that intently. And then I got to the very end and I was like, yes, this is what I'm here for. And then I sat there and I just watched. So I literally just watched Bloodline. My first SmackDown watch was just Bloodline Central. And let me tell you, that shit is crack. Okay. That shit is good. When I watched that ending segment, when Jay was sitting there talking and, he said, what, do you remember the exact words he said?
I do remember.
Give them to me.
He's talking his shit. He's going back and forth. Roman's looking like, yeah, I got him. Suck it, Jimmy. And Jay goes, so you know what, Oos? You out. And I'm out too. And then he super kicks Roman in the face. I was like, I screamed.
Dude, me too. Yeah. He said, I'm out too. When he said, you out, I 100% believed that that's where it was going. I didn't think there was any turning. I was like, oh shit, dude, he's out. And then when the I'm out too hit, I was like, oh my God. But I literally watched it back over again, immediately. I just rewinded it just so I could watch that again to see the reactions. Yeah. Shout out to Main Event Jay. That was great acting. You fucking had me, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah. Every Samoan right now is trying to put their acting skills in the forefront. 'Cause they're like, there's only a couple of these fast movies left. I gotta get in on this.
Gotta get in there, bro. Dude.
Yeah.
I can't believe that whole segment. It was so good. I was on the edge of my seat. I was so happy to see Roman take that kick to the face. I'm so happy for Jimmy and Jay. I was laying there with Janie and I was like, dude, I am so happy for the Usos. I feel like a proud friend that just saw somebody just, get rid of some sort of toxic ex. I just felt so good inside. That toxic relationship is over. My boys are good. They're coming home, man.
But so Roman's promo before we got into Jay's stuff too. Oh, God, Roman went for their fucking throats.
Absolutely.
He's like, where were you 10 years ago? And then someone posted some videos on Twitter of the Usos 10 years ago. And I was like, fucking yikes, bro.
Yikes.
And he's like, and now what? You've been part of the main event on WrestleMania 3 years in a row. I was like, oh, he's got a point there. But yeah, I mean, any of you haters out there who claim that Roman's never done anything for anyone else in the WWE, he's never put anybody over. Look at these last 3 years of our tribal chief. He has put this company on his back. He has put everybody on his back. Mm-hmm. He's got, those little baby carriers that people put on their fronts?
Yep.
He's got one on the front, back, side to side. He's carrying everybody.
Yeah.
It is, Roman Reigns, Bloodline, Paul Heyman's reactions.
Oh my God, the Paul Heyman reactions.
Sensational
Legendary.
Paul Heyman reaction.
Yes.
And all of this is leading to a new bloodline civil war at Money in the Bank. The Usos versus Roman and Solo.
It really is a cinematic universe, bro.
Yeah, whenever this is done, it's not just gonna be a DVD. It's gonna be a box set.
It's so good. And you know what? I want to bring it back to this. I am so happy that Cody didn't beat Roman at Mania. I know we've mentioned this before, but god damn, what a good decision. I'm so happy all you short-sighted folks don't run the WWE because, man. See, I forgot to say this too. Remember a little bit ago we was talking about the titles, and I was like, wow, I wouldn't be surprised if he came out with 3 titles. See that motherfucker come out with 3 titles. I knew they liked the visual of multiple titles. That's just really funny they're still bringing them out.
Apparently the rumor is that it's going to be this way for a while until they, decide to slow it down a little bit. It's more of a just to keep the visual going for now.
I figured, yeah, it's a good visual. He looks like he's on top of the world. He's got all this gold.
Yeah. He is on top of the world.
Yeah.
He's the undisputed champion. Top champ. Not wrestling on NXT like some other jabronis. Anyway, whose stock's on the rise?
Oh, this one's obvious. Everybody knows. It's LA Knight. Yeah! I knew you were going to hit the button, too. I was waiting for it. Yeah! Dude. Yeah! That man is so over. It's insane. It's like actually crazy. Every week, it feels like we reach another plateau. It feels like every week we think the crowd's as into it as they're going to get. And then the week after, they're like, let's kick it up a notch. And that shit is crazy. And I linked an article here because I thought it was interesting. Actually, I linked 2 articles. One, talking about how WWE initially was concerned with his age. Cause he was 40. And, it was an interesting read for me because, he had said that, it was like an uphill battle and he didn't think that they were going to, give him the opportunity. Basically to, just kind of say what's in the article here. He was in NXT and he said some higher ups had noticed him and they were like, wow, we really like what we see. And then eventually they kind of looked more into it and they're like, but he's 40. All right. Well, how about a talking role?
AKA he's in his prime.
Yeah, for the WWE. Yeah, right. Bro's in his prime. Let the man cook. But, yeah, he didn't think he was going to be able to get out of that, but he kept trying, suggesting. And, he put his hats off to Triple H because Triple H believed in him and he gave him the green light to go ahead and switch, back to LA Knight, which was obviously a great decision because without LA Knight, I mean, we don't have the yeah every week that we get and the nah. I love all of it.
Well, let me talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's just like, I can't imagine WWE now without that. So, also hats off to Triple H, just like he said, mad respect for that. And then the other article, I linked here was interesting. It's a former WWE writer, who apparently was saying that, or it's just blasting WWE's booking of LA Knight, essentially saying that he hasn't been in any like super relevant stories or feuds, which I think is true. He's just kind of wrestling, doing his thing, and the crowd loves him. And that's the problem, though. The crowd loves him. So, like, why wouldn't the creative team get behind him and capitalize on that momentum as soon as you can? Get him in something that's meaningful, maybe long term, where you can, like, really just capitalize on what's going on, because obviously the people are there. So, like, if you get behind him even more, that's a money machine. You know what I mean?
He had the biggest pop on Raw.
Yeah. Consistently. It's crazy. And I didn't even mention that on NXT, Seth Rollins is giving a little promo and the crowd goes, yeah. And then Seth hits him back with the, yeah. So like, dude, even the World Heavyweight Champion is in on it.
It's like what so many people have said, so this is not us, unearthing a gem here, but like the way the man can talk is great. Like he gives huge Rock vibes for his talking ability. But to unlock that promo skill, you need to have him doing some stuff in the ring and being involved in ring. You can't just have him managing some jabronis like the Maximum Male Model. That was never going to work. Like, it was funny when it first started, and he was like, I'm looking for the perfect specimens, you know, like, blah, blah, blah. But, like, you can only go so far with that. And, like, is that a compelling TV story every week? No, not at all.
Yeah. No, totally agree. And, like you said, there's definitely a ceiling with that type of character. You're only going to go so far. That's, I guess, top of the, only far as, she got my jet, or...
Here we go again.
As far as you can go as the mid. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm definitely happy with the character change to LA Knight.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that I'm just so into this idea of LA Knight winning the briefcase, because that gives him something to talk about every week on both
damn
shows.
Right. That'd be so good.
Because the draft doesn't matter. They can go wherever they fucking want. Which they proved on Raw because everybody was there. Yep. So it doesn't matter. Yeah, LA Knight, he should win the briefcase and talk his shit for a full year. I would love it. Anywho, I need to make an apology. I need to apologize.
Okay.
Specifically to NXT. Their stock went up this week.
Ooh.
I said last week that I was not going to watch NXT.
You did say that.
I watched NXT.
Wow.
So I apologize for the lies. Dear listener, I'm sorry I misled you. NXT was okay. It was fine. I didn't really know what was going on because I don't know anybody there. I was really confused by a lot of things. Like, I was talking to Ed kind of through it, and there were these like cowpoke boys that came out wearing jeans and belt buckles, and I had no idea who they were. And then they lost to some other guys, and there were some other people who just didn't seem real. Like, they had like names that like just seemed completely fake. There was the Cora Jade and Dana Brooke thing was super weird. I was really not into that at all. They like had Dana work an injury to her knee during a picture-in-picture, and it just went on for so long to get like the stretcher out and have her in the stretcher and have an air cast on her knee, and the whole time Cora Jade didn't really look like she knew where she was supposed to be, but she kept like kind of floating around and talking her shit. And then like when they were finally going to wheel her away out of picture-in-picture, she slaps Dana Brooke one more time, and then Dana Brooke finds her fighting spirit and gets out of the stretcher. But the crowd boos when she gets out of the stretcher. And, you know, like, I feel bad for Dana Brooke. And she tweeted something along the lines of like, look, I get it. You think I suck. Awesome. But at the same time, how has WWE booked her for the last 2 years? As a loser and as a joke and as a punchline.
Yeah, and she's literally anytime she shows up, she loses. That's if she shows up, because half the time they don't book her at all.
Yeah, and it's like you took her to NXT to make Cora Jade look like a better heel, but no one who goes to watch NXT live is going to cheer for Dana Brooke just because she's the face and the way you booked her. The people who are there, they have an attachment to Cora Jade. They've seen her. They watch her every week. They have no idea. They don't have any bearing on Dana Brooke on why to cheer for her. So why would you? And that was a pretty low point actually through the show. I did not enjoy that one bit. Thoroughly confused by Chase U. I was like, is this a cult? Is it a college? It's apparently a college. The girl who is wearing the singlet and the Nike Dunks, that has the #1 contender spot for Tiffany Stratton's NXT women's title, she was acting like she was feral. Like, what's her fucking name? Nikki Cross. I thought she was like Nikki Cross's cousin. Like, she was like pacing back and forth and like had like a crazed look in her eyes. And then, Tiffany came out and was talking her shit and then like got punched in the head. And then this girl like took the belt and like walked around and like, ran around. I was Demetri, I was baffled. Anyway, the whole reason I watched was the main event. They made Braun Breaker look strong. That man's ready. Just let him come to Raw. Like, he doesn't need to be on NXT anymore. Like, he's got it. Seth felt like he had to do 2 stomps to put him away. Like, he's better than NXT. It's time. Just pull the trigger. That's it. NXT. Watched it. Didn't love it, but, you know, I had to apologize.
There you go. I would say that's a stock falling for you, dude. Your stock is falling for that.
How dare you?
Yeah, there's stocks on the fucking pit falling. That's awful.
I'm not naming the episode Stock Falling Jacob. Not doing it.
I tried.
Who else is going up?
I really like Grayson Waller. I'm
coming around.
What's up?
I'm coming around on it.
Yes. I really like Grayson Waller. I think he's just really interesting. And I think he's great on the mic, and I haven't seen him wrestle much, if at all. I've seen him wrestle a few times on NXT, just when I tune in every now and then. But man, I just love his whole deal. I think he's got like top of the mid or maybe eventually heel champion written all over him. I think he's getting he's getting a little bit of TV time every week. And I think it shows that he has like his own like whole ass like little segment every week that they believe of him somewhat. Cause I mean, he just came up and he's got a whole segment every week. That's pretty cool. But I would like to see a little bit more, cause essentially they're using him to further other stories right now. But I mean, from what I can see, I think he deserves more. And I think it's only a matter of time before we get more. He kind of reminds me of, I know this is probably said before on the internet, but he kind of reminds me of the Miz a little bit, with how slimy he can be and, how Miz has Miz TV. And all that, there's a lot of parallels there for me, with how they act and the way their character seems. So I just think he could be like a Miz type 2.0. And I'm here for the whole deal. You said you're coming around to him?
I am coming around. My big thing with him is that he needs to start wrestling.
Yeah.
I agree. It's been, about a month now since the draft, and he's been officially on SmackDown, and he hasn't wrestled.
Yeah, he's just been furthering storylines.
I need to see him actually in the ring. My only concern kind of with your Miz 2.0 comparison, he's 33. I think he's older than coming up from NXT and just having a talking segment. I think he needs to, if he's going to be a main roster mainstay, I think he needs to start wrestling. Like, LA Knight's 40, and he's mostly there. They started him as a talker and got him back in the ring. And, I mean, LA Knight can go. Like, there's no question about it. Like, I've seen one Grayson Waller match when he had that feud with AJ Styles on NXT. Mm-hmm. But, like, I need to see him actually do some stuff. Hit the ropes, boy.
Yep, I think it's only a matter of time. We'll get that soon enough. It just doesn't seem like they actually have anything for him, but they kind of want to put him on TV, so this feels like the best option for them. But I agree.
All right. Last stock rising, I'm going to give it to the Forbidden Door build from AEW. It's been a lot more natural this year. Last year, it really felt like they were pausing a lot of storylines to throw this thing with New Japan in. And this year, it's been a lot more natural. They kind of incorporated a lot of this into the existing storylines. I'm not going to buy it. I don't know enough about New Japan Pro Wrestling to be that invested in the pay-per-view. I will probably try to watch some of it, like I think they're probably going to call it this 2 main events. I'll probably try to find, but I'm not that compelled by the actual card. But what are you going to do? It's a kind of lower tier pay-per-view for AEW, in my opinion. I'm not a hardcore wrestling fan. I don't watch New Japan. There's too much shit that I have to watch anyway.
Yeah.
Real quick, I'll go through the card. Athena versus Billy Starks in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament first round on the pre-show. Meh. CM Punk and Satoshi Kojima in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament first round match. Okay. CM Punk's going to be on the pay-per-view. Shock. Sting, Darby Allin, and Secret versus Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki. They're going to reveal who that is on Collision, I believe. The rumors are it's Goldberg, so...
Oh, boy.
It's going to be Goldberg or someone from New Japan. We'll see. Blackpool Combat Club, John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Konosuke Takeshita, and Shota Umino versus the Elite, Hangman Page, and the Young Bucks. Eddie Kingston and Tomohiro Ishii. Tony Storm versus Willow Nightingale, the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Women's Champion, for the AEW Women's World Championship. Toni Storm retains. Spoiler alert. Orange Cassidy versus Kodashiri Shibata versus Daniel Garcia versus Zack Sabre Jr. for the AEW International title. Zack Sabre Jr.'s New Japan TV title, worst belt I've ever seen. It's a rectangle. It's horrible.
Yuck.
Google it right now
Nasty
while I
work.
read the rest of this card. It's awful. MJF versus Hiroshi Tanahashi for the AEW World Championship. Sonata versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry for the IWGP World Heavyweight title. Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay for the IWGP United States Championship. I'm interested in that one. And Bryan Danielson versus Okada in a dream match, which is the main event. That's going to be a banger too.
What is this championship called again?
The New Japan Pro Wrestling Television Championship.
All right. Let me take a look here. Ew. Why does it look like that? Yeah.
Yep. Worst belt ever.
Yeah, I'm
Looks
not a
like
fan
a
of that.
license plate on some leather.
It is. It's a license plate. That's crazy.
All right. Anyway, whose stock's going down, Demetri?
Ooh, this one's been going down for a while, but I haven't mentioned it. But Natalya, y'all. I just have it in my notes here. I don't remember the last time she had a match where I felt like she was going to win it and not just like obviously lose. Like, I feel like she's just so often the obvious loser. And I understand that, like, at this point in her career, maybe she's just used to, like, further storylines or make somebody else look good. And, you know, she's a good worker, so she does a good job. But it would be nice to feel like she's going to win maybe once.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, she lost before the bell rang.
Yeah.
Like, the bell never rang in that.
She's
match,
just consistently
quote
getting
unquote.
her ass beat, man.
So, I think and I'm going to kind of steal a little bit from our friends at Cage Side Seats on their Raw recap. Marcus Benjamin, great writer for them. He wrote about this a little bit this week, and I think his theory is interesting, and it could be an interesting storyline depending on how much time it's given to explore and how much time it's given to progress. But it is kind of an interesting idea of seasoned veteran, former champion, you know, with Natalya. Where is her place in this WWE food chain? You know, Rhea Ripley on the women's side is far and away the top of the food chain. She is the apex predator, for lack of a better word. She is there. So Natty getting beat before the bell, that tells you you're not at the top of the food chain. But is she for, and I don't know, I can't remember the names of these new women's belts, to be honest. The SmackDown women's belt, whichever one's there. That'll take some time to readjust to. But is she in that kind of title picture range? Because that's going to be one rung below Rhea. Or is it going to be further down? Does she need to find a tag partner? Is it going to be in the tag team? I mean, shot through the heart, you know, her and Shotzi didn't really work. But, you know, I think it's interesting. If they let this get explored and we can see this play out on television, I think that can be an interesting kind of concept to explore. But yeah, Natalya's stock is definitely falling right now.
Yeah, and speaking of Natalya, I hit up Cage Match. Cagematch.net. They got statistics on wrestling, so we'll see if these are accurate. But I have a really interesting statistic here. You know how I like my statistics.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so the last 101 matches Natalya has had over the past 2 years, so 2022 and 2023. 101 matches. All right, just take a guess on how many wins she has out of those 101 matches.
Doesn't matter. It's WWE.
It's not a number, Jacob. 33? Locking it in?
I'm locking in at 33.
All right. Yeah. Under. 18.
Under?
18.
No.
101 matches, 18 wins. That's how bad it is, dude. 18 wins, 101 matches. That is a terrible percentage. And no wonder we feel like anytime she's up, she's just like, it's like an automatic L. That's pretty much what that number's telling you.
Natty deserves better.
Yeah. It's
Bonus
crazy.
stock falling. Natty's booking. Let her get some wins. Come on. You know what? Never mind. Fuck that. Let her contract run out. Come to AEW. There's only one women's match a week, so the rate of you losing will decrease.
That's true.
Anywho, next stock falling. Matt Riddle. What a shock. He beat a jabroni in Ludwig Kaiser role, but then he got beat up after, and now he's injured. So it's a severe ankle injury is the way they're selling it to us, because it didn't take one staff member, but two staff members to carry him through the back.
That's how you know it's severe.
I just don't care about Matt Riddle.
Me
I don't
either.
care about this feud. If he faces Gunther for the Intercontinental belt, guess what? He's losing. So, yeah, whatever. Matt
That's
Riddle,
how I feel
stop
about
crying.
Matt. Only time I was up on Matt is when he was teaming up with Randy, just because that team worked so well. Other than that, not been. Ooh, wait, actually, one other time I've been a fan of Matt Riddle. Whenever he was
Off television?
Damn, Jacob, shit. No, whenever he was. You ever see the video of him running into Goldberg backstage?
I don't think so.
Oh, dude, this is good shit. Okay, I'm gonna tell you the story. So Matt Riddle and Goldberg have beef, right?
Why?
Because Matt Riddle, like, very openly was talking about how Goldberg's not a good wrestler. He's never been a good wrestler, and he's not just somebody he likes. He, like, openly says these things, right? So this is actually a real video. He runs into Goldberg backstage, and Goldberg's like, we gotta talk. And then Matt Riddle's like, okay, bro, anytime, man. Goldberg's like, I'm not your bro. Okay, we gotta talk. And then Matt's like, okay, my bad, man. Yeah, we'll talk. And like, it just kind of goes back and forth, like really awkward. Like Goldberg's trying to punk him. And Matt Riddle, of course, is not scared because he knows how to fight. So he's just like nonchalant, like, okay, bro. And he walks away and he's like, he's on his way, just away from Goldberg, and Goldberg just like stares him down. He's like, I'm not your bro. And then Matt Riddle's like, all right, my bad, man. It's just a really funny, random interaction. But yeah, they don't like each other.
Is it a real interaction or is it a kayfabe interaction?
I believe it's a real interaction. It could be kayfabe, but I believe it's real. I want to believe it's real.
It's kind of yikes. All right, well, I'll look that up after. That's okay.
It's interesting. It's funny.
Yeah, it's definitely something, that's for sure. Yeah, they need to do something different with him. Back to kind of him and Randy. I'm starting to think that I was only actually compelled by that storyline because of Randy at this point.
Randy was good, man.
I do like an odd couple kind of tag team pairing, which is, I think that's kind of the way, like, why I like Sami and Kevin Owens. Like, Sami Zayn is somehow the calm one now, and Kevin Owens is losing his mind every week.
Yeah, that's why I like me and you. You weren't ready for that, were you?
Sorry, what did you say?
You said you like odd couples, and I was like, yeah, that's why I like me and you, baby.
Oh, Demetri, I'm so sorry. I wish I had seen that in real time, but my wife texted me.
Okay,
So-
that's okay. I texted
babe.
him, guys.
All right, what's going on with Theory?
Yeah, obviously, yep, Theory's on here. Just essentially, I wasn't sure if he popped up on the shows again. I don't think he did. Did he pop up? He wasn't on anything, I don't think.
No. Series
Again.
loser Austin Theory does not show up.
Yep, surprise. So yeah, at this point, I've already said enough about Austin Theory. I'm just begging Triple H to put him in some sort of feud that matters, hopefully, maybe, or better yet, just put him out of his misery and move on. Get somebody else the U.S. title, please.
Sheamus.
Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. I don't got much to say.
Yep, fair enough. Fuck Austin Theory.
Oh, and you know what? I got a bonus here. I forgot I had this little bonus here. This might be a hot take. Maybe not. I don't know if other people feel the same way I feel, but just watching, I've kind of not loved that KO has been relegated to like a straight up comedy act all the time. I think he's really good at it. Like, he's very funny, and I do love him being funny. Like, that's nice. but I just kind of wish that it wasn't like 100% all the time what he is. You know what I mean? Because he's better than just a comedy act, in my opinion. He's so good at everything he does. So I don't know. I don't really want to say stock falling for KO. Maybe stock falling for the writers that aren't utilizing everything else that he can do. I think he's just more than a comedy act.
Yeah, he absolutely is. I think it's more of they're trying to find ways to keep us interested in the Sami Zayn kind of aspect of WWE. They're trying to still maintain that high that they had in Montreal. Yeah. And, of course, like now that he's out of that main event picture, he's out of the Roman picture, he's going to lose some steam, and that's natural. That's a natural thing. It's just like Cody Rhodes. Like, Cody Rhodes has lost some steam because he's doing some other stuff, which I think is actually fine. Like, we haven't talked about Cody Rhodes in a while, and most of it was me like hating on Cody Rhodes. Yeah, I think it's been a good thing. I'm totally fine with what Cody's doing. I'm actually kind of interested in it. Yep. Like, I'm much more interested in Cody Rhodes having to deal with a bunch of weenies around WWE right now. Like, stuff with Brock Lesnar, okay, sure. Stuff with Dom, now that's interesting. And then, what's going to happen after Money in the Bank? Probably start working towards some kind of program for SummerSlam the next month. Probably Brock Lesnar again, but I'm more interested. So I think they need to find something else to do, and the way right now that they're finding that is that Sammy has to kind of corral Kevin into not trying to fight everybody because Sammy doesn't want to lose his tag belts on a random Monday. And I think that's really interesting. So I'm good with it for now, but I think if it continues, probably past SummerSlam, that's when we'll probably start getting towards the expiration date on it for me. Facts. I think that's a fair bonus stock falling though. Finally, to wrap up, it's the women's title picture again. I have not been like super happy with the way that they've been booking these feuds or lack thereof since back to our first podcast on WrestleMania.
I can't agree more.
Like, at this point in time, there is not one single women's title match booked for Money in the Bank. Not tag team titles, which, fine, I don't want to see Ronda Rousey anyway. Not the SmackDown women's title, not the Raw women's title. I will get their names right eventually. I'll make flashcards. But neither of them are booked. And I think we have Asuka and Charlotte the Friday before Money in the Bank. Am I right on that?
I think you're right. Yep.
Like, unless there's some nonsense from Bianca, which would be understandable, what are we going to get? Are we going to have that interrupted and it is official. We have a triple threat for the belt. Like, that's what they should just be booking anyway. Just book that anyway. Right. That's what makes sense. And then we got a match booked. And
we got so many. Go ahead.
There's just nothing for Rhea. Yeah. She beats Natty before the bell. No one's stepping up to her. There's nothing.
Yeah, I just feel like we got so many talented women on the roster. Like, legit, I often think there is more talent in the women's division than the men's. And we got all this talent, and yet I just feel like they're not being utilized the way they should. We could have compelling stories right now. We could have really big championship matches right now, but we don't really have any of that. We're just kind of coasting towards the pay-per-view, and things are going to happen like right beforehand, like it's been happening with these championships. And then we're going to go into it and be like, damn, I wish the build was better. And then, of course, they're going to have great matches because they're fantastic at working. They're going to have great matches, and we're all going to be like, damn, that was a good match. That exceeded my expectations. But it would have been even better had we had the, build up that was solid, some good storylines, something, right?
And we're not getting any of it. Like, we're not getting any of that. And right now, they're making Rhea look so strong that the only way to beat her is if she's weakened after a match and someone cashes in their Money in the Bank. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the only way to beat Rhea Ripley right now. And I said this last week, I'll say it again when we preview Money in the Bank next week. I want both people who get those briefcases to not cash in on this pay-per-view. Yeah. I want them to hold it. I want that to go on. I want there to be some jeopardy that comes along with someone having that briefcase. I want these champions to sweat. So I really don't know what to do. They keep making Raquel Rodriguez look really strong. The way she ragdolled Trish Stratus, that was new. That was fun. Like, I think she is a compelling contender for Rhea, but what are they going to do with it? You know, is Rhea going to beat her in 7 minutes? Because that's like her average match length right now. Like, we need to do something here. Start paying more attention to this section of your card that you need to book, Triple H, because like we need some more.
Big facts. Couldn't agree more.
All right. Any other hate or love to dish out this week, Demetri?
You know what? I actually wanted to give a quick shout out to Io Sky and Bailey quick. I just like their little dynamic that's going on, and I just saw that little segment on SmackDown where Bailey was sitting there talking, and Io Sky essentially just volunteered her up for a match. She's like, yeah, she'll do it. And then Bailey's like, what? So, yeah, I love that. She was like, I'm just trying to help. I love that for Io Sky. So I just want to give a quick shout out to them. I love that little group, and I think Io's got some good stuff coming up. So I'm excited to see that at least.
Along those lines, I really hope that doesn't mean that Bailey loses to Shotzi and is out of Money in the Bank, because that makes that Money in the Bank women's card a little weaker. It's much more interesting when you have Bailey in that with everybody else going on, because you kind of got factions all over the place. And then if you take Bailey out of it, it kind of, I don't know, drops it down a bit for me. But that was really interesting, and I wish, we should have talked about that a little bit more. So much wrestling. We're over an hour. There's so much wrestling.
We didn't even touch it all.
We didn't. We got nowhere near it. Like, there's so many more things that we could talk about, but we're not going to.
Nope.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. You can follow us on Twitter and TikTok and the YouTubes at Let Me Pod To You. You can follow Demetri at Demetri Talks. You can find me if you want at We Hate Jacob. That's hate with an 8. Please give us a review on your chosen podcast platform. We are on every major network. Have a great week, everybody. We'll talk to you next one.